Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and welcome back to the start of a mini-series, if you will, inside F124. Now there are just 9 races to go of the real-life season, and Lando Norris is sat just 70 points behind Max Verstappen in the Formula 1 World Championship. Now, in previous years, on the the Saturday of a Grand Prix weekend, we have done a GP challenge inside F124 in years gone by. But I've decided this year we're going to try and up it just a little bit more. And what we're going to be trying to do for our Grand Prix challenges is trying to see if we can make Lando Norris world champion in F1 2024. So we're going to be heading to all of the remaining 9 races of the season. We're effectively going to be freezing the real life points where they are right now and incorporating that into this series as well there. So we've got to try and, claw back a 70-point deficit inside these final 9 rounds. Now, of course, obviously, on a weekend where there is a sprint, we will also do the sprint. These races are still meant to be, a little bit more short, a bit more fun and interesting as well. So we're going to be running, I think we're going to run, obviously, we'll run our normal 110 AI and everything like that. And of course, obviously, we're going to be, like I said, in using that, obviously, sprint format if it's available to us. But of course, obviously, we're going to be doing one-shot qualifying and 35% GPs as well. So hopefully this is going to be a little series that you find quite fun. Like I said, it's going to be on the Saturday before the real Grand Prix. So between after Singapore and Texas, there's going to be quite a break inside this series as well. But yeah, hopefully if that sounds good, get yourself subscribed if you're new as well. And yeah, let's head then here to the Italian Grand Prix.
For over a century, the Temple of Speed has all come down to moments like this. Driver versus the stopwatch to set the grid for the Grand Prix. It is qualifying at Monza.
Well, here we go then, ready to start our first lap of this challenge, and I believe maybe my first lap's in the McLaren inside F1 2024 as well. So this is going to be a little bit of a trial by fire here today. Of course, yeah, the goal remains simple. Just basically, we want to try and outscore Verstappen in every single GP between now and the end of the season. Now, I will keep tabs on how the other drivers are doing as well. So, it's not just going to be a simple, hopeful countdown of ourselves against Max. Maybe we'll see some chopping and changing a little bit further up and down the order as well. Like I said, we'll keep tabs on every driver between now and the end of the series. Now, of course, I don't know when Franco, or even if Franco Colapinto is going to get added to the F1 roster either. So, yeah, we might add him into the game mode as well at some point. But yeah, really, I would have thought most of our focus is, like I said, going to be just on Max and I. But maybe, just maybe, we're going to see some other surprises as well before the end of the season. So as we make our way then down in towards the final couple of corners, you can see Max Verstappen currently fastest of anybody right now. That Red Bull known for being pretty good in a straight line, but Charles Leclerc right rhythm as well as we round our way through the final corner. Lando Norris took pole at Zandvoort last weekend. He's going to miss out here on, actually miss out in quite a big way. P8 on the grid in the end, but nothing between us and P1. Well, there we go. Verstappen will line up on pole by just 4 thousandths of a second over Charles Leclerc. Carlos Sainz will line up P3 ahead of our teammate Oscar Piastri. Perez ahead of Alonso and Russell. We end up in a in a Mercedes sandwich even, I should say, just 2 thousandths ahead of Lewis Hamilton. But there we go. We've got a lot of work to do. Let's get into the race.
It is no longer the only Grand Prix in Italy, but no less special. This is Monza, the Temple of Speed. This is the Italian Grand Prix. The Rettifilo, Ascari, Curva Grande, the Parabolica. Names to get you excited. This is Monza, where we are full throttle for 80% of the lap. The race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday and he'll start from pole position. And it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Oscar Piastri, Perez, Fernando Alonso, Russell, Norris, Hamilton, Gasly, Ocon, Albon, Stroll, Tsunoda, Joe, Ricciardo, Bottas, Magnussen, Hulkenberg and Logan Sargent. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today.
Well, to end up just 3.5 tenths off pole position and find yourself on the 4th row of the grid, I think goes to showcase just how ridiculously competitive Formula 1 is right now. Of course, inside this game, at least at the time of recording this first episode, the Red Bull does have still a slight pace advantage over the McLaren, so ultimately, yeah, everything seems to be stacked up against us in this series, but that isn't going to stop us. We need to try and get a good start today. It is 5 red lights here on the grid for the Italian Grand Prix. And it's going to be lights out, and away we go then. Not up to the best start in the world. Fernando Alonso getting away pretty nicely down towards someone. So does Pierre Gasly behind me, as Russell can't decide where he wants to go. Oh, we're going to send it into that first corner, though. A lot of bumping and bashing around, though, by a few other drivers there, as we'll drop back out ever so slightly on the exit. But look at that at the front, though. It is your World Championship leader, Verstappen, that has immediately broken free, as we're going to try and go down the middle of Alonso and Sergio Perez through Curva Grande, so we might be able to make a Grande move on lap 1. Ferrari again squabbling, as Sainz now up at a P2 as well then. So Verstappen, I mean, that has been the dream start for the Dutchman up at the front of the order there, as Oscar Piastri just slots in watching those 2 Ferraris duke it out. But yeah, I don't think the Dutchman can really complain about that. He hasn't won a race since before, when was it? How long ago has it been since Max Verstappen last won a race in Formula 1? I'm trying to rack my brains. I know obviously he won the Austria Sprint. It must have been, was it Canada? The last time he won. Absolutely ridiculous. I might have forgot one race since then, once F1 returned to Europe. But yeah, the Dutchman, though, still has been able to hang on to his world title lead, obviously over the summer break. But like we said, you know, the whole point of this series is we're going to try and carve it down. Oh no, this is not what we need early on. Ferrari still battling it out for P2 here. I mean, we need them to work together to try and get a bit closer to Max up the front. He hasn't really been able to bolt away as aggressively as I was expecting him to there, as we actually take new fast lap of the day. Alonso snatches it off me, but we set identical lap times, so really not too sure how that one works out. Of course, also interested to see whether McLaren start playing #1 driver between now and the end of the year. Could those 7 points that Oscar took off Lando come back to haunt them by the end of the year, as for whatever reason our teammate and Sainz have got no straight line speed off of the first chicane there. Can't really do anything with it though, as Leclerc now breaking free. We'll try and go round our teammate though through the second chicane, which we will do. So up then into P4, we've gained 4 places already. Not been a bad start. Now we've got to try and be really, really strategic here. We've got to slingshot Carlos Sainz to get ourselves in the range of his teammate Leclerc. New fastest lap coming in by the Ferrari man, as, yeah, what else is quite weird is going back to the original F1 2024 car performance.
Brilliant, nice move, keep going.
Obviously, I'm so used to the Ferrari driver career mode and obviously even the My Team series on the second channel. I kind of forgot just how slow the cars are inside this game as standard. They feel really sluggish. Well, just monitoring the gap then between Leclerc and Verstappen, it's staying fairly level, but I think, yeah, the Dutchman has just got a couple of extra tenths in his back pocket. I'm kind of hoping that by the time we get round to the pit window, if we can box the same lap as Max, then maybe we can slow him down inside the pit lane. Other problem I'm very quickly remembering is just how difficult it is to save battery. As we'll try and have a look around the outside of Leclerc. Big late braking manoeuvre down towards Turn 1. And we will move up then and into P2 of the GP. So you're top 3 now in the World Championship in exactly the same order as they are in those standings. But yeah, we've got to try and bring that gap down to Max and also build up a small margin over Charlie. I'm going to claim I know exactly how the cars act in real life and whether this game is particularly realistic, but yeah, I've got to admit I can see why this McLaren's fast. It's just so stable through the corners around this venue. As here we go, Leclerc again having a look back down the inside there. Not really what we need at the moment. We've got to work together and try and close in on Verstappen. As you can immediately see, we lose a good half a second to him. But yeah, this thing is so stable. It gives you so much confidence to attack the corners. Well, looking at the gap then as we make our way down in towards the final couple of corners. This is going to be so close between ourselves and Verstappen as we get a little bit of a wobble on the exit of Parabolica. Will he have built up enough of a gap where he will be able to pit, obviously get all 4 tyres on and make his way back out the pit lane? Here is Leclerc's going to be coming in as well. No, he hasn't. So that's really critical here, and we might hold up Ferrari as well. There goes Verstappen.
Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one.
Well, we got a 2.3 second pit stop here, but Carlos Sainz as well might be able to get a very good undercut. As out of the pit lane will go.
We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
Looks like Leclerc's been held up a little bit. Looks like we didn't really take much time out of Max, though, annoyingly. So we've got to try and utilise the pace and the clear air there as well. We almost chuck it straight off down at the first chicane. We've got yellow flags out. No idea who that is going slowly a little bit further back. It might be our teammate. It might be Fernando Alonso dropping out. I think everybody's kept going. I think Perez might just have made a bit of a mistake.
Teammate by 8.9 seconds.
And not too sure what's happened to the Mexican, but 7 laps left. 2.7 seconds to Max. We've just got to take a few tenths out of him each and every lap. Oh, that's what we need.
That's the new fastest lap of the race.
New fastest lap of the day then. Just take a little bit more time out of Max in front. The gap down to 2.4. I feel like I'm going to spend a lot of my time towards the end of this one watching the top left-hand side of your screen. Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz is gone. No idea what's happened to the Spaniard then. I can only assume that's been a mechanical failure. But Carlos Sainz out of the Grand Prix, and heartbreak for Ferrari. One of their drivers out of this race. I guess it promotes the other one up into the podium places as well. But I'm just monitoring that gap between us and Max. We seem to make up most of our time through Ascari. But yeah, we're just, every lap, it is so close between these two cars. Well, every single lap we just seem to find a little bit more confidence, a little bit more speed out of this car. Of course, Verstappen, he's had all year to get used to his machine. We've just jumped in a bit like Franco Colapinto this weekend, right at the deep end there, just remembering how to attack that curb down at the first couple of corners. But that gap, 1.5 now. I need another half a second, and then things will be made a whole lot easier once we get the DRS. But it's about getting in that DRS with enough time. Oh, come on, we've definitely been working these tyres just a little bit harder than Verstappen has in front. Through the Lesmos, we're starting to get a bit more of a wobble. It's getting a little bit more difficult to drive. But look at the gap as we make our way down through Ascari. Hopefully we're going to see it come down. And there we go. Finally, we are under a second away from the Dutchman there. Just use a little bit of battery. It's worth it at the moment to make sure we're claiming that free speed down the straight. We know, obviously, yeah, the DRS isn't as effective here because you're running such little downforce anyway. But 3 laps to go here from Monza. This win is not off the table just yet, and like we saw with Hamilton and Verstappen back in 2021, it all can come to a head. Well, we should get the fastest lap bonus point as well, so it could be back-to-back weekends where Lando Norris takes 8 points out of Verstappen in front of him. But as we start the penultimate lap then of this GP, the real question is, how late do you leave it? Do you wait until the very last lap to go for the move? Or do you just try and make sure that you've locked down that P1 as we almost get another new fastest lap of the day? So we have still got pace in the car. Verstappen will go defensive on us down in towards someone there. Throws a fair but aggressive block in towards that first corner. And again, he's always got good traction out of those first couple of turns. We can't do anything against him. Monza is known for its big speed and also brilliant battles right the way up and down the order here. Top speed is everything around this circuit, and at the moment I still think Verstappen in that Red Bull has got a little bit more than us. But as we are about to embark on the last lap of the Italian Grand Prix, I tell you what, if tomorrow's race is as exciting as this, we're in for an absolute treat. But how are things about to go down? I mean, we've used all of our available battery, but so has Verstappen. You could just see the light there flashing on the rear of that Red Bull as we make our way down in towards someone again. The Dutchman's going to go defensive. He'll bobble over the curbs. Will get pinched through turn 2 there. Try and put the power down on the exit, but unable to do it that time around. But you can see again, though, Verstappen struggling. He's got nothing through Curva Grande here, so battery is going to make the difference. And for the first time all day, we are up into the lead of the Italian Grand Prix there. Dance our way through the next chicane here, but surely Verstappen now, is there going to be anything he's able to do down in towards Ascari? These have been another couple of the corners where the AI are very strong, especially when I go for a line like that. But look on the mini-map, the way both Max and I pull that advantage over everybody else. But look at the Dutchman. Max Verstappen, I got nothing against him. Has he just played the bait on us there? Let me think we've got the lead locked down and then just swoop back through again. We're going to have no choice but to drain the battery down in towards the final corner here. Verstappen and I side by side. This race has suddenly gone crazy towards the end of it. Round the outside we'll go. Will Verstappen have enough on the exit of the corner though? We'll try and put the power down on the exit of the Parabolica here. Will it be enough? Yes it is. Lando Norris P1 here at Monza.
Well done, boys. Proud of all of you.
Lando Norris has done it! Lando Norris takes the checkered flag.
You always look back at a race like this and think, if I'd just made that mistake there or locked up here, there would have been contact. And every one of those overtakes is a moment where you have to absolutely nail it, perfect it, and that's exactly what they were able to do today. Great stuff indeed.
As the winners make their way up to the podium, one can only imagine the celebrations that will take place at McLaren tonight. Congratulations to everyone on the team, securing the win and proving they're a force to be reckoned with out on the track.
Well, there we go. Lando Norris on the very last lap of the Grand Prix takes the win from Max Verstappen after a disappointing qualifying. I don't think we can complain about the full 26 points on the board there ahead of Verstappen and Charles Leclerc. Perez with actually a decent drive as well beats out Russell and Lewis Hamilton there, with Piastri, Alonso, Gasly and Alexander Albon rounding out your top 10 come the end of the GP. Taking a look then at the point standings. I'll make sure I put it on the screen right now. Verstappen still leads the way with 313 points to his name, but Lando Norris has cut down that gap but he's now on 251 there, meaning the gap has been cut to just 62 at the top. Charles Leclerc still in third place overall on 207 points as well, with Oscar Piastri still ahead of Carlos Sainz there. Oscar with 185 points as well. So, like I said, the full top 10 will be on your screens right now. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon when Formula 1 returns ready out in Azerbaijan.